Hey Internet, Caligula here, and welcome to another episode of A Case of Distrust. So in the last episode, we were trying to figure out more about Connor Green and why someone wants him dead, and we had a chat down at the Tin Spoon Lounge with Tiny Paul, but now it's time for us to move on elsewhere. Maybe we should just go ahead and go back to Southern Coffee and chat with Frankie about what we discovered there. Just in case that leads to anything new, because I'm not really, we found a lot of new evidence, but I don't really know what to take from it. All right, Frankie, so let's chat. You got anything useful to tell us? Okay, so let's look at our statements. Oh, we should have asked Tiny Paul about Mrs. Green. We didn't look in the statements tab while we were there. Oh well. We can ask about Tiny Paul saying that he didn't send the letter. Oh, he doesn't know. Can we ask Frankie about Connor Green's bootlegging scheme? I wondered aloud how I could get more dirt on Green's bootlegging. Frankie thought about it too. He offered, well, Green's working with Tiny Paul on this scheme. If I were to buy from a new source, I'd have to try it, get a taster. I continued his thought, so there's likely a sample of Green stuff laying around the Tin Spoon. That would make sense. Maybe I could ask Paul about whatever booze I find in there. Frankie nodded. I thanked him for the advice. Damn it, we should have known that before we went there. I thought about what else I'd like to ask him about. Let's ask him about Green's past. What do you know, Frankie? I still had no idea what to make of Green's past. Frankie shrugged. Perhaps something in Green's house could give you some hint, he asked. I agreed, though I knew it wasn't the most pressing part of the case just then. Shipman would call when he found more information. Okay, I turned back to Frankie. Does Frankie know about the source of Green's letter? I pulled Green's letter from my pocket and showed it to Frankie. I'm still stumped on this note, I told him. Frankie shook his head, puzzled as I was. Well, Green said he thought Redstone Stable sent it. Maybe he did. Talking with him could at least lead somewhere. I agreed and vowed to speak with Stable. I folded the note back into my pocket and thought about what else I could talk to about Frankie. Is there anything else? I think that's it. I think we need to go to the barber shop, Stable's barber shop, so let's go there real quick. Green had suspected Redstone Stable of sending him that letter. Apparently Stable owned a barbershop in the financial district. I figured there would be no harm in asking Stable about it directly. Let's go here. Our last cab driver was pretty weird, so let's not talk to him this time. The barbershop was down an alley in the financial district, opposite the Red Brick National Bank. Seems expensive. Ooh. The small bell above the door twinkled as I walked in. Oh, look at all this shit we could click on. The maroon leather chair looked comfortable. It seemed elaborate for a barbershop waiting chair. The hat rack was a deep mahogany, engraved with gold lettering that read Fraser & Co. Furnishings. Fraser & Co. Furnishings. The two sides of the mirror's frame were cylindrical, painted blue, red, and white to look like barber's poles. They clashed with the otherwise elegant furnishings. The modern hydraulic barber chair had always seemed ostentatious to me, but this one with its soft brown cushions and gold embroidery was the most ornate I had ever seen. Jeez, man. Jeez, what's this? Stable's cabinet was similar to my own, but where mine was a dull gray metal, his was a deep red wood that looked heavy. What's in that cabinet? I wonder. Is this him? There was a tall man in the center of the room. He was wearing a flamboyant pink suit tailored to accentuate his stature with a maroon bow tie and pocket square. I gathered this was Redstone Stable. Oh, he's bald. He's bald and he has no chin. It's like talking to an egg with eyebrows. Somehow he manages to have also no lips. The man turned to face me. He grinned and his squinting blue eyes made the smile feel genuine. I must apologize, he said. We do not take walk-ins. I asked him for a chop. I told him why I was there. I studied his face. Let's study his face. Make him wait. I studied his face. The wrinkles around his eyes indicated he was at least 40, but the rest of his skin was clean and smooth. He wore no hat and shaved his head completely bald. When combined with his smooth skin, it hinted at the look of a small turtle. Oh no, he looks like Mitch McConnell, but with no hair. His pink suit and maroon accessories only added to his eccentricity. I wish Mitch McConnell dressed like this. He'd be a lot more fun that way. He smiled and said, "How foolish of me, of course. course you were here for information, Miss Malone. Oh, so he knew us. Well, how about a drink? I asked how he'd know my name. I noted his smooth voice. Let's ask him for a drink. Well, how about a drink? I asked, to get us started right. Stable's eyes lit up and he laughed. You are completely unlike the other sleuths. For him, I'm really channeling the bad man from The Fifth Element, the one played by Gary Oldman, the same person who played Sirius Black. He poured me a whiskey and handed it to me. As I gulped it, he asked me why I was there with genuine curiosity in his voice. Oh, so he may not actually know about the note. Oh, look at his teeth. Look at his gums. Oh, he's got gingivitis. Let's ask him what he knows about Connor Green's past. What do you know about Green's past? I questioned. Only that he has constantly skirted the law. I nodded. That's it? That's it? All right. Let's investigate the source of Green's bootlegging. Maybe since he knows that Connor Green breaks the law, that he'll know that. Green claims you bootleg, I stated bluntly. His grin didn't waver at his response. Would you hang me on Connor Green's claims? I may partake in some gambling, and I may have a talent for it, but it is nothing illegal, I assure you. And you know nothing about Green's own bootlegging? I asked. Stable shook his head. I doubted he would ever answer a question straight. Uh-oh, I hope we didn't fuck things up between us. But I think we really pissed him off. We could find the source of Green's letter. Yeah, let's ask him about the letter. I pulled Green's note from my pocket and showed it to him, but didn't let him hold it. Green tells me this letter is from you, I told him. He doesn't like the threats. Stable lowered his head to study the note, then chuckled. His knowing grin returned to his face. His knowing grin? Huh. But this is a Black Hand letter, he said, flourishing a hand towards the paper. Have you ever seen a Black Hand letter, Miss Malone? I confessed I hadn't. Exactly, he said. You should ring your friend Shipman at the station and ask what it means. Okay. Sam Shipman had been one of my uncle's regular partners in the Vice rackets. I wondered what Shipman could have to do with Green's case. Stable seemed to think that he had a lot to do with it. I pocketed the letter and continued with my questions, but I made a note to stop by police headquarters and see Shipman. Okay, so it looks like we have a new place to go. Is there anything else we can ask him about? Let's ask him about his barber chair. Why not give me a cut, I asked. I don't see any clients around, Stable. I'm sorry, Miss Malone, he smiled. To be completely honest, my gambling and business acumen give me a decent living on their own. The barbershop is a hobby, and I only give haircuts to close friends. And I can't be a close friend, and you don't want a detective friend. And I can't be a close friend. And I can't be a close friend, I replied, and looked sarcastically let down. Stable laughed. But we have only just met, Miss Malone. Perhaps another time. Is there anything else we could ask him about? What was the thing with the label on it? Was it the hat rack? Yeah, Fraser Cohen Furnishings. Let's ask him about his hat rack. I nodded to his furniture. Elegant trappings for a barber. Math was never my strong subject, but I can't see a barber making enough for all this. He smiled. Yes, I have other methods of procuring wealth, but I do not engage in illicit activities, if that is your implication. So what does he do instead? It doesn't look like we could ask him about anything else. No, I think that's it. I think that's all we could ask him. So let's not ask him anything else. Nothing new, I said, and turned back to the barber shop. All right, well, I guess we'll see you later, Redstone Stable. All right, so I've been recording for a while, so I think I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode here. I think in the next episode, we'll head straight to the police station and probably back to Southern Coffee and see where we can go from there. I really hope that you're enjoying this series. I think I'm actually going to start uploading at least 2 episodes a week just so I don't forget where we left off. So yeah, look forward to 2 episodes a week instead of just 1. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you're enjoying this series. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to talking to you soon in my next one. Goodbye!